Big win for Manchester City this afternoon, this evening, wherever you're watching around the world. 1-0 courtesy of a Haaland penalty. Goal number 28 this season for that remarkable robot of a centre forward. The points gap driven down now to just 2 points with Arsenal, and big pressure upon them tomorrow afternoon when they take on Fulham away from home. But it was a difficult game for City. They struggled to break down this Palace side. And when they did, Haaland and Alvarez especially missing an abundance of chances. Jack Grealish unable to really break those lines. Foden having a quiet day. They dominated the midfield. They dominated the ball, but a hard-pressed game. And it was a really stupid penalty for Palace to concede because they were under no real threat at that moment. A little bit overzealous from Elise, and the penalty was, listen, the idea of Haaland missing penalties, he's going to miss a handful in his career, but he was putting that one away. But it's 3 points. And as I've been calling out Gary Neville for weeks now, when it comes to these situations, just because you scrape a victory, just because you grab a late goal, just because you struggle against a bang average team and grab a win, it isn't the sign of weakness or a problem. It is simply the sign of a team that can win the Premier League. And that is why City are going to push Arsenal right until the end. Whether you think the Gooners will do it, whether you think Man City will do it, they're going to the end. This is going to be a battle, in my opinion, right down to the wire. And today just proves it. City, some will say lucky, some say they scraped it. For me, I say that is a victory of champions. Simple, straightforward as that. The victory of champions. I'm still predicting Arsenal to win the league, but City are there or thereabouts, and they will be there if Arsenal mess up. They will be there if Arsenal start to drop points. They really and truly will be, and they just showed that grit and that determination today to go and get all 3 points. And listen, it's well earned. I'm not going to have any salt. I'm not going to have any sort of they're lucky, they didn't deserve it. Yeah, it wasn't even a soft penalty. It's a 110% stone wall penalty. Do you think City would have scored minus the penalty? No, I don't think they would have done. They needed that penalty to score, in my view, City, because Palace were defending like it was the 90th minute in the 9th minute of the game. So, and they held on to that. Crystal Palace didn't look threatened to me. Crystal Palace didn't look stressed. The penalty was stupid because they were under no real stress. They were defending well. They were keeping in their shape. They weren't counter-attacking. They weren't laying a glove upon City at all. City defended impeccably well today. They stopped everything. Last 10 minutes, a few shots got off, but that was about it. That was when Palace committed people forward. But no, I don't think they would have scored without the penalty. But, you know, if my uncle had a vagina, he'd be my auntie, wouldn't he? Like, it didn't happen. That's it. And that's why I've said, again, Gary Neville was like hypocrisizing himself in the game. He's talking about how this isn't the City of old. This isn't the City that Guardiola's used to. The manager's got his head in his hands. Well, that's why it's weird that you're just going to open, sort of just be so open to the idea that 100% they're going to come good, win all their games, no problem. This City team is gettable, but still brilliant. And people think I've been attacking City all year. I have not. I've simply stated the facts. They're not quite at their scintillating best, and there's a door that's been opened. Equally, Arsenal were pretty much on par points-wise after 25, 26 games, as City have been at the same time in the last 5 years. So they've been brilliant as well. The best defense will determine the title. Listen, that will play a part in it. The team that concedes the least will play a massive role in the title. Equally, the team that can just get the job done, though, is winning the game. If Arsenal win 3-2 every match and you win 1-0 in every game, they win the title because they're 5 points ahead. Defense, though, listen, I'm going to quote Fergie here. Fergie did say this on many occasions. Attacks win you games. A great defense win you titles. Can Arsenal get back to keeping clean sheets? I think they will. I think that's 3 on the bounce for City now in all competitions. The last two in the Premier League, they've kept clean sheets, but they're not scoring as many goals as Arsenal. Arsenal seem to be finding it easier to get the ball in the back of the net in the last couple of games. So it's certainly going to be an interesting one indeed. Football Matters says there aren't now those there aren't now though Arsenal are. What does that mean? Sorry, rephrase that, my friend, because it might be something I said a minute ago. I don't know what you mean by that, my friend. I don't know what that means. That's my point. Oh, what I just said. Fair enough. Okay. Maybe I get it. Abdul here says, Terry, Haaland being the best striker since R9 is a really bad take. He is so easy to mark out of games. He's been figured out. Nothing else to his game other than tap-ins. So I didn't say better. Like, you got to remember what I said. I said goal scorer, the best goal scorer since. So again, remember the words I use when you come on here to challenge me. If you're going to take a shot at the king, get it right. Best finisher. And look, he's not been at his scintillating best in the past couple of months, really. Looking at his last 10 games, scored today, scored against Bournemouth, scored against Arsenal, and then before that it was a hat trick. So in the last 10 games, he's got six, I say only 6 goals, 6 goals and 2 assists. That's 8 goal contributions in 10 games. Is still very good, but that's in a downturn period for him. Let's not get it twisted. Most great strikers, barring 2 weird aliens over the last decade, most strikers go through periods like Haaland's going through now. And Haaland isn't the problem in this team. The amount of times they don't get early balls in, the amount of time they don't thread the ball soon enough. And you saw it today. There was a really early cross from Bernardo Silva. Haaland didn't make the run because he isn't used to them making those early crosses. They've got to do better. His finishing isn't great either. He misses a lot of chances. He plays a machine creating chances after chance. Look, I disagree with you completely. Lionel Messi's conversion rate at his pomp was 18%. Go figure. 18% Lionel Messi. Cristiano Ronaldo was marginally better at his pomp at 21%, which basically means in every 10 shots, Ronaldo is only scoring 2 goals. You know, let me just check what Haaland's conversion rate is this season. Let's just go and have a little look at that and see if you're right. And if you're wrong, Abdul, I want to see a super chat from you and we'll give it to charity. I bet you his conversion rate is above 20. I'm guessing now above 20%. If it's above 20%, Abdul, I want a nice little super chat for you and we'll give it to charity. If it's below 20%, I'll donate some money to charity. I'll do it live on the air. Premier League. Let's get his conversion rate up. Attack. Conversion rate. 38%. Come on now, my friend. I understand on the eye, he isn't as good as Benzema or Harry Kane. I'll give you that. He isn't as good technically as them. But remember, you were the man that said Alexander Isak was a better striker than him. Haaland is quality. He's only going to get better. We've got to remember his age as well. This guy's still, 21 years old? Just because he looks like a man doesn't make him one. He still needs time to learn. He has 28 goals so far this season. He's on course to be the highest goal scorer in a single season in Premier League history. Sorry, 22 years. To call him out is crazy for me. The kid is sensational. He's sensational. I'm going to bring Mo out now to join me and talk about today's game. Make sure like buttons have been hit. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. No, not me. Oh, sorry, that was Ali Osman, not you that said that. But yeah, Abdul, you're still wrong though, brother. You're still wrong now, my friend. Haaland is more than a tapping merchant. And if you can answer me this, if you come on air, I'll share the link. I'll put you on. And if you can riddle me this, I'll give you time to think about it as well by posting the link and then saying it. If you could explain to me why tapping, just say he's a tapping merchant. You can explain to me why being a tapping merchant isn't a top-class skill that barely any striker and other striker in the world possesses. I'll give you £100 live on air. I'll transfer it to your PayPal, whatever it is you use. We'll get it done. If you can explain to me and explain why it's not a good skill to have and why it shouldn't be praised, we'll talk. Let's do it. Mo's here with me now. Welcome back to the Terrace. Mo, how are you, mate?
I'm all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hear people talking about Haaland. What are we gonna sit here and just talk about someone who scored 28 goals in 27 games? Listen, you can get a tap-in merchant, you can get anything, it doesn't matter. 28 goals, I can't just sit here and say he's not good in the eye. Being a tap-in merchant means you gotta be in the right place at the right time, right? It's not only just a tap-in merchant like this. Like maybe on the eye, he's not the best striker you have seen in your lifetime, but maybe you haven't watched him at Dortmund, and he was immense at Dortmund as well, running behind the defenses, taking the ball by himself, counter-attacking. Remember that goal he scored against Man City? or PSG in the Champions League, running at the defenses. He's a very good striker. It's just people want to just have this narrative that he's not good. I say maybe he doesn't fit City, maybe he's making them worse, but that doesn't take anything away from him scoring 28 goals. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no, it certainly doesn't take anything away from him. I'm really, it's for me as a football fan. I'm disgusted with the type of analysis I see about football nowadays. I'm not gonna lie, I'm genuinely disgusted by it. This notion of Saka's not as good as Foden because I don't like how he looks when he plays football. We're not watching ballet. This isn't ballet. The how aesthetically pleasing it is absolutely irrelevant. It's about efficiency, outputs, winning. Sport is sport. This is not dance. This is not the West End theatre. This isn't entertainment. Football is entertaining, but it isn't entertainment. It is sport, and it's about winning. You win by being efficient. Haaland is a very good football player. He's an elite level striker. He's converted 38% of his attempts on goal this year. And as you say, tapping merchants are in the right place at the right time. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Scoring goals.
I've been playing professionally then. I would be playing professionally.
Exactly. Scoring goals is the hardest skill in football. It's the hardest skill in football because it's the rarest skill in football. How many people have you seen be able to control the ball out the sky easy, do keepy ups, do drag backs, do step overs, pass the ball well? There's loads that do that, whether they're professional footballers or not. How many people can consistently score at the rates that the Benzemas and the Harry Kanes and the Lewandowskis and the Haalands do? There's literally, at any one time in the world, you're hard pushed to find more than between 5 and 10 human beings in the world that are capable of doing what they do. Like, Haaland is literally in the top 10 human beings in the world at scoring goals. He may not be in the top 10 people of doing keepy ups or drag backs, but there are millions of people that can do keepy ups and drag backs. There's not millions that can score goals. It's a harder commodity. Football fans, listen, I'm sorry that your father let you down. I'm sorry that your mother let you down. I'm sorry your big brother let you down, but you've been taught football wrong, my friends. You've been taught football wrong. Get out of here. And if you, honestly, it's embarrassing, brother. It's embarrassing to see. It really, really is. But on City today, what did you make of the performance mode? Because like, they get a lot of criticism, City, from some people for, one reason or another, money, cheating, etc. There's very little criticism from the media. It's always everything they do is kind of, it's perfect. They're going to be champions. This is champions form. How do you see this? Are they struggling to win games, or are they winning in a champion style? How do you see it?
No, I see them struggling to win games, to be honest. This is the first time City win 3 games in the Premier League since October. We're not known Pep to do that. Since October, they have not won 3 in a row in the Premier League. This is the first time. Even today, I didn't think that the goal was coming if there wasn't a penalty and a lapse of concentration from Crystal Palace. I think you said the same. You didn't see the goal coming. You saw the game maybe going towards 0-0 or something. That's the struggle. Is it because of Haaland? We can analyze it. I can sit here. My opinion is very clear about it. You get a number 9, someone new to the system, and Pep is not a guy who has been coaching all his life with a number 9. He doesn't like a number 9, and numbers don't lie. I'm not here going to sit here and say stats, but the stats as well don't lie. Haaland, when he doesn't get involved, somebody else has to compensate. That's why the goals are not there. And also, if you have a number 9, can you just whip it in inside the box so he can score goals, and instead of just huffing and puffing around the area and keep passing the ball back and forth? How many times I've seen Jack Grealish or even Foden go to the line and try to dribble themselves inside the area, and instead of just putting it to Haaland, who's making a run. I think they're still getting used to it. Kevin De Bruyne said it months ago. He said, we are getting used to playing with someone like Haaland. That's why they are struggling. And Pep today playing 4 center backs in the back line, maybe he should have known that Crystal Palace will sit the whole game back, and he needed maybe a little bit of an attack in fullbacks, because there was no support from the fullbacks going forward. I see them struggling. I see Arsenal are more equipped to win the league. However, I cannot just say that Pep Guardiola is someone who cannot go on a 5, 6, 7 games winning streaks. He can do that. It's proven. Evidence is there. Go look at the record. He can coach his team to win 1-0, 2-1 for the next 7 games and get 21 points and be within 1 or 2 points of Arsenal. It's very important that they won this game, because they don't play next week, and the game after the international break is Liverpool, which is a very tricky one.
Listen, it's a real intriguing running this is going to be, and a lot of City fans have called me out all year because I predicted Arsenal winning the league. They see that as you think we're rubbish. I don't. I think City are brilliant. If they had a Champions League to this trophy haul and this run they're on with this squad, this core group, they're one of the greatest English sides of all time. They're fantastic. I see today's win as a title challenging win, a team that's on course to maybe win the title. And I say that because they ground it out on paper. Yes, they had more of the ball, more shots, but it wasn't a great performance. But they got the job done. And yes, it was by a penalty, but so goddamn what? Man United clinched their 20th Premier League title, or no, sorry, their 19th Premier League title with a penalty against Blackburn. I want to say it was the 19th. It might have been the 20th. No, it was the 19th. We clinched the 20th against Aston Villa, Van Persie hat-trick, with a penalty against Blackburn. So I couldn't care less about it being a penalty. Now it's about how do Arsenal respond tomorrow, Mo. That's the biggie for me. How do Arsenal respond to this? Because they've got no attacking line. Trossard's out, Nketiah's out, Jesus is out. They have to go and win. If they respond to this with a win, then it just shows, their depth, their quality, their tenacity, their fight. Then all the pressure is back on City again. And I'm enthralled by it. I'm excited by it. I can't wait to kind of watch it play out. I wanted to ask, yeah, I like it. I wanted to ask you, KDB on the bench again. Is there an issue there? Is there a problem? Or is this just about rotation because they've got a big game against Leipzig on Tuesday?
I don't think it's about rotation. I think Kevin De Bruyne has the most assists in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. And you leave him on the bench, that means he's going through a rough patch a little bit. And the coach knows it. He's trying to protect him. I would look at it this way. He's trying to protect him for maybe the Leipzig game as well, and also for the coming run in the Premier League. Again, it's the tougher teams. They still have to play Arsenal. They have to play Liverpool. So I think he has enough players at his disposal that he can rest Kevin De Bruyne and protect him from all the media talk, because in the last month or two after the World Cup, he has been under a lot of pressure, Kevin De Bruyne. I think Pep is protecting him. It's not because he's bad. He knows that he can come back and be that one of the best players in the Premier League, because we know his abilities. KDB today played a couple of good passes that you can tell that this is an elite footballer, even at his like in this slump that he's hitting now. People talking about, oh, he's past it. No, he's not past it. He's still the top assist in the Premier League. So I think Pep is protecting him, and I think he's on the bench because Pep has enough players to still win games and play the football he wants without Kevin De Bruyne. That's what I think. And KDB will be clutch at the end of the season, and we will remember this. We will remember this. Comes the end of the season, we know that KDB will be good, and he will be the one maybe helping this team stay in second or even go all the way with Arsenal until the end. Pressure on Arsenal. And Pep Guardiola, he has a lot of players like Mahrez today on the bench, not even used. Not even used. So squad is deep enough for him to rest KDB.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of it's always hard to judge with Pep because he was using young Lewis in the right back role regularly for like a couple of months, and it looked like he'd burst his way into the team. They played Arsenal in the big league game, and Carl Walker straight back in, comes in no problems and moves on. That's what a squad is all about, and their squad is deep. That's why Arsenal winning the league is kind of or moving towards winning the league is triggering so many Liverpool fans, because you'd probably look at this Liverpool Arsenal team on paper, squad on paper, and say Liverpool's teams challenging City were better, but they only managed to beat them to it once. If Arsenal on their first time of asking with this squad in a title race beat them with a lesser squad on paper, that is, it's embarrassing for them, especially as Liverpool try to claim that they've only won one title, but they deserve three because of how close they run them a few times. It's crazy. And I think that's where Arsenal winning it will be. I'm not going to call it won't be as big as Leicester winning it. I'm not going to say it's the most miraculous thing in the world. They've spent, £300 to £400 million on this squad for Arteta. They're not underdogs per se. Nobody in the top six is. We're all too rich. But when you look at the squad of City, and you look at the squad of Arsenal, what Arsenal are doing is sensational. And that's why this title running is so intriguing. We haven't actually spoke about this player, though, like you and I at all. Jack Grealish. What do you make of his performances in a City shirt?
Okay. I'm going to keep the same energy that I said for Anthony. when you that price tag, I need to see more output. It's not only about GA. I think Jack Grealish wins you free kicks in transition. He's good. He's okay. But I think, and that's just my opinion, he's holding the team back. I think Pep Guardiola is used to direct wingers, the likes of Sane, Mahrez, even Foden on the winger. Even we saw Julian Alvarez today coming to the right side. He changed the way they play. Jack Grealish is I think Jack Grealish is one of these guys who needs to be a big fish in a small pond instead of being a small fish in a big pond. I think he might be good. This is his second season. He might be okay for Pep Guardiola, but I'm looking at the history of Pep Guardiola's teams, the likes of Thierry Henry under Pep Guardiola, the likes of Pedri under Pep Guardiola, even Robin, Ribéry, they're all direct wingers. This is a new way of playing football. So, and Arsenal are top of the league. So the evidence is there. Arsenal are top of the league. They got Haaland, one of the best strikers in the world. Jack Grealish, one of the superstars in the Premier League over the past 3-4 years with Aston Villa. And they are second on the table. And so for me, it's a change of system, change of the way they play. On Jack Grealish himself, I can't fault him because Pep keeps playing him. He is maybe doing what Pep wants him to do, but I don't see him the superstar that they needed. They needed someone like maybe Sancho in his form at Dortmund. They needed a direct winger. And today, evidence is there. And people, I know English media want to praise Jack Grealish, but today I saw it. Julian Alvarez came on direct, and he changed the way they play, to be honest. And it's just as simple as that. People don't want to admit it. People want to give Jack Grealish. People want to give Jack Grealish time, Terry.
The problem with listen, I understand it, giving everybody time, but Jack Grealish is 27 years old. He'll be turning 28 next season. He has to deliver more. He has to deliver more than he does. And I think that the fact that Julian Alvarez, we'll see what happens. If City win the league, it will get brushed under the carpet. The same as when Liverpool were winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, none of their fans were focusing on the lack of impact in games Firmino was having. They just praised. He creates space for others. He holds the ball out well. He's a defensive striker. That's what you say about someone like Weghorst, who is quite literally a £2 million loan makeshift player. He creates space for others. He works hard. He's doing us a job. That is not what you say about your star number 9 or your star winger or your star signing. Their job is to do all those things, plus score, plus create, plus assist, and be massively influential. Foden didn't do that well today. But what Foden has done since he's returned is more than Jack Grealish has done all season. Foden is what Foden and Mahrez and what Sterling did at the club, or what top-level attackers should be doing at clubs. Of course, you give them a little bit of time, but I just can't give Jack Grealish as much time as I would give a 20, 21, 22-year-old player moving to the UK in a team that's being rebuilt. He's moved into the most successful team in England in recent years, with one of the best managers, settled squad, great atmosphere. He should just be doing more in games, and there's just something about him that just doesn't quite work for me. A question here says, Terry, how is that a stonewall penalty? Did you think it was a penalty tonight for City?
100%. Even Michael Olise walked away, never complained, guys. Come on. I know the narratives. I know you want to run stuff like this. You want to say it's not a penalty. Everybody thought it's a penalty on the pitch. The oppositions thought it's a penalty. So it's a clear penalty, Terry. There's no argument about it. He stomped on his foot. It's as simple as that. He was late. And it's a lapse of concentration. And that's why they are fighting for relegation, Crystal Palace. I wanna get people in the comments. Let me ask you a question. The people that keep defending Jack Grealish. Is Martinelli having a better season? My answer is yes. Is Saka having a better season than Jack Grealish? Yes. Is Marcus Rashford having a better season than Jack Grealish? Yes. All these players are having better season than Jack Grealish, but he's the more expensive one from them. So that defensive mentality of let's defend Jack Grealish, let's defend Jack Grealish. If he was a 20, 30 million squad player in City, yes, I would get the same. But Mahrez can open space for others. Julian Alvarez can do the same. If you put Bernardo Silva on the winger, he will do the same job. So what does Jack Grealish offer more than these guys?
Yeah, do you know what? Listen, this is the thing with it. It's like people say I don't understand his role. I understand the good things that he does. I understand he creates space for others. I understand that when he hugs that touchline, it brings players out to him. That creates space for others. He does create some opportunities. He does beat people when he dribbles. I understand all of that. I remember seeing Thierry Henry talk about him and say, when Thierry Henry, he said, when I moved to Barca, I was made to go out to the left and do X, Y, and Z, and it created space for others. I'm like, yeah, but you were still expected to score. You were still expected to create goals. Your job at Man City can't be right. What you do is you hug the touchline and you create space for others. That is literally your job. No one has a job like that. Footballers' jobs are multifaceted. And I think Grealish is brilliant, and I just want to see him deliver more. It's as simple and as straightforward as that for me. On the penalty, look, 110% a penalty. It's slightly soft, but it's 110% a penalty. It just absolutely is. 110% it's a penalty. And I don't really understand the argument against it. This here says you guys are nitpicking. Do you feel like you're nitpicking against Jack Grealish?
I've been having the same argument from the beginning of the season with Dabs. I have this energy that if you're playing for Pep Guardiola, Pedri, who was let's say he's not at the level of Jack Grealish, was scoring most of the games, and he was playing with Messi. That's a winger under Pep Guardiola should have more output, guys. Look at Raheem Sterling. Again, I'm going to explain it again. If you're a winger under Pep Guardiola, you need to score goals and get involved more inside the area. Opening space to others, passing the ball, winning free kicks. A lot of people can do that in the world. The difference makers under Pep Guardiola are the wingers. We have seen this every year. And maybe that's why they're second. Maybe this is why they are on course to the lowest point tally over the past 5 years. Maybe that's why people, and they're scoring the same goals, but they're conceding more. But again, I don't see Jack Grealish. Take Jack Grealish out of the team today, the team performs the same. I know that numbers, people will tell you, yes, Jack Grealish, we won 70% of the games when he's on the pitch. But City win most of the games, guys. This is Man City under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah,
and he plays most of the games.
No, I know. This is don't put Mahrez and Grealish in the same conversation again. It is what BDA has got to say. If people think I'm attacking Grealish, I'm just demanding. This is what City fans don't hear. I'm demanding more for your club. I'm demanding more for your club. Anthony is having a better season, scoring worldies, winners, matches, and cups. Grealish is a no impact player. Look, Grealish is doing more on the ball, as in the attack. In terms of Anthony gives the ball away a bit too much. Defensively, Anthony does a better job. Goal scoring wise, Anthony does a better job. In terms of the general play, Grealish is better than him. There's no doubt. I'm not going to sit here and chat nonsense about it. But once Anthony gets better at the play, scoring goals, if the play is good and his defensive work shape-wise is great, which is important in systems in 2023, then he's performing. That's what it comes down to. That's what attackers' jobs are. In the modern-day game, your job is to keep the play flowing, score and assist goals, and of course, help out in the shape defensively. They are essentially your three roles. Is Jack Grealish doing all of them? No. And I'm just saying, for £100 million, I think you've got to be fulfilling all three at 27 turning 28, not 21 turning 22, not 17 turning 18. Like, I hear people put more pressure on Garnacho. I've listened, right, to commentators say, by now, Garnacho should be scoring and assisting regularly. He's 18 in his first season and has started 11 matches. Grealish, it's fine that he creates space for others and holds on to the ball well. He doesn't need to score and assist. I'm sorry, I'm the one being consistent. It's everybody else that's going crazy. Legend Sweet here says, what did he say? I agree with you, but Pep plays Mahrez and Jack Grealish to keep the ball, is what he said there. Let's have a little look at some more of these comments. Super chat here says, Mo, I think you mean Pedro.
Pedro. Yeah, of course.
By the way, where have you gone? Abdul was backstage. I was going to bring you on, Abdul. Abdul, come forward. Abdul, go back. Abdul, get yourself. Have you seen that in the States? That guy that does the prime drink stuff at Wakey Wines. Is that trended over there at all?
No.
There's a guy that says, Abdul, come forward. Abdul, go back. Just because he's named Abdul, I thought it was funny. But there, a few people are talking about my tweet, putting my address online. Let me just say this now really quickly. The address I've given is where I work daily. It's already public information if you Google my company. So I'm just giving it easy to the guy. If the guy wants to threaten me, come to where I work and we'll have a chat. Anyone who wants to threaten me, come to my work and we'll have a chat. If you do me, you do me. If you don't, you don't. I'm not going to get violent with you. We can just have a chat. But I'm sick and tired of people giving it the big one on the internet with no recourse. So there's the address. That's where I work. Come and talk to me. Let's see if you've got the ball bags for it. I bet you don't. I bet you don't. You'll say nothing. You'll do nothing. And you can, by the way, some people might send you deliveries. That's going to cost them money because they've got to set the Uber Eats up. Nowhere does deliveries now unless you pay up front. So you can send 100 pizzas to the address. That's just you spending £200 on pizzas for no one because I'll just throw them in a bin. Grealish, 3 goals and 4 assists. Saka, 10 goals, 9 assists. Martinelli, 11 goals, 2 assists. The stats, idiots. Numbers don't lie. Arsenal for life is what Don C.
I want to, before you move on to the next one, about this one, in your opinion, who's having a better season, Mo Salah or Jack Grealish for you?
Well, individually, like Mo Salah's having a bad season, but he's still delivering more. That's the crazy thing. Like Mo Salah is delivering more in a bad season. Terry, Haaland will protect you. I don't need Haaland's protection. I said it before. Like, give me a few months of training to get fit, and there ain't a Premier League footballer in the world that scares me. I don't need their protection. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? I am on the 3rd floor. You got to buzz in, but yeah, we'll let you in. We'll let you in the building. We'll have a little chit chat. It's all good. Like, I'm not worried. Like, I'm really not worried about it. I don't think people will realize. I'm just going to start calling people out that threaten me now. Simple as that. How many goals do you reckon Haaland scores in a Premier League team other than City this season?
Probably
similar amount.
Yeah,
I think it's. I mean, let's just have a look at. I'm going to go and find a stat, right? I'm going to go and find. It's hard to find. Probably not hard to find this stat. But like chances, if you just look at if we just do teams for a minute, right?
I am doing it now, and I think if I'm not mistaken, guys, Liverpool have the most missed chances in the league. If Haaland was there, they might not have been in the same place.
I'm just thinking about all the chances Weghorst has missed in the past 2 months. Haaland's burying half of them. So for me, he may not have 28, but he'll have 25. He would have so many goals still. This guy was scoring like this. This is what's crazy about I'm not saying you're doing this, Divine. You're just asking a question. But when he was doing it in Austria, it was a rubbish league. He goes to Germany and starts killing it. Yeah, but could he do it in the Prem? He starts doing it in the Prem. And it's like, yeah, could he do it in a smaller Prem team? Why are we moving the goalposts all the time against Haaland? It's utterly ridiculous. The moving of the goalposts is crazy. It's legitimately crazy. It's crazy to me anyway. I don't really understand.
I think Haaland scored the same amount of goals if he plays for Liverpool this year. Liverpool created the 2nd most chances after Man City by a very small margin, and they missed way more chances than Man City. If Nunes switched with Haaland, probably Liverpool would be up there, guys. But people don't want to see that. People don't want to see that. Yes, tap-in merchant. Yes, all of this. And I'm going to say it's the right place at the right time. In my opinion, and I said it before, he might be holding City back because he's a new system and a new way to play. But that doesn't take anything away from his ability of scoring goals. He's the most informed striker in this season. If you count the season from August until this moment, no striker even comes close to him. No striker comes close to him. These are just facts, people. And I don't know why people want to keep asking questions about Haaland. I know that this narrative about City and it's easy to score goals, blah, blah, blah. But 28 goals in 27 matches is not an easy thing to do. It's more than a goal a game. Just put that in your mind.
It's sensational. It really is. Mo Henry scored a goal and got subbed off because he didn't follow Pep's instructions. Pep has Mahrez, Foden, and plus Alvarez, but always starts Grealish. Why?
So do you think maybe he's protecting Grealish as well? He's giving Grealish time more to adapt to the system as well. Even when Haaland wasn't scoring, he didn't take him off, right? He kept playing him. He had 4 games without a goal, and it's not him, but he kept playing him on. Maybe what you're saying is correct, that he wants Grealish to start, and maybe that's why he's 2nd in the league, my friend. Maybe that's why he's not 1st, because he keeps Grealish on. I think it's a simple thing. You got to look at the game from not a perspective of you're not Pep Guardiola. I'm the one who watches the game. I want my team to be first on the table, and it's not first. And he keeps playing Jack Grealish, and every time he plays someone direct, like when Mane started being a direct winger, City started winning games again comfortably. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Today, City were slow moving the ball. They were slow moving the ball. Foden is the only one who tried to go inside the 18, tried to create something from both sides. I don't
Well,
know that
I
this
think,
protection thing is kind of, it
but
blows
I
my
look at it
mind.
this way: if they win the league this year, it won't ever be discussed again. It will be a moot point. No one will care. A muted point. Sorry, no one will care. If they don't, this is what will happen with City fans. And I listen. I know you're protecting your boy, and you all know I don't hate. You all know that I don't. This is my honestly. I need to get a new mic stand. This one's really weird. It just doesn't. It's meant to be a hung mic, and anyway. The thing is, you see the way I speak about Haaland. You see the way I speak about Foden. I don't dislike your players. If you guys don't win the league, and then next year, maybe you're sitting third, and United and Arsenal are both ahead of you, City fans will then start to talk about Jack Grealish's lack of output impact. That will happen 110%. How do we know? We saw it with Liverpool with Firmino. When they were winning and challenging, they didn't care. As soon as they dropped off, suddenly, he don't score though, does he? We need more. We need more. We need more. And he will need to start delivering those goals and those assists at some point. Otherwise, we'll get moved on. You can't just be, because there must be players out there that do the things Jack Grealish does that score you and assist you goals. How do we know that? Raheem Sterling used to do it. That's why he started regularly. That's why you won all those trophies. That's why you won all those trophies. Look, I think it's a fair point, but listen, they can still win the league. Who have you predicted to win the league, bro? Who's like the team you think is going to come
Man
out on top?
City. I thought Man City would win the league. Listen, what Arsenal is doing is giving hope to everybody. If Man City, I think for football, for the Premier League's sake, if Man City win the league this year, it might kill hope for a lot of people. It might kill hope because Liverpool have been challenging 90 plus points, and at the end, City comes out winners. I think Arsenal, in my eyes, they have done enough until this moment to win the league. Arsenal are 5 points ahead. I know that they're 2 now, but before this week, Arsenal are 5 points ahead. When everybody talked about the slump they hit after the World Cup, you remember January when they didn't win a game and they had 4 games without a win, and they were still 5 points ahead of Man City, one of the greatest sides we have seen. It's an overachieving what Arsenal are doing, but it gives hope to everybody. Man United fans will think next year we need two players, and now Ten Hag's second season we can win the league. Chelsea will say, "Oh, we'll get a manager," or Graham Potter will be established, we'll win the league. But imagine if City wins it again this year, 3 times in a row, with Arsenal doing all of this. They are on course to 94 points, Arsenal now, and still City win it. I think that kills the hope for a lot of teams, because City will only get stronger next year because they will look at the deficiencies and they will strengthen the team.
Yeah, listen. I'm going with Arsenal, as everybody knows. I'm not going to change my mind right now. I don't think it's impossible. I've seen a lot of people talk about Arsenal, it being impossible for them to win it. Crazy talk for me. Of course, it isn't impossible for Arsenal to win it. It's not impossible for City to win it either. I'm not someone that's going to sit here and suddenly pretend that Man City have got no chance. They're a rubbish team. They're crap. Their drop off, and it's a minute drop off, has been just enough to make them human, if you like. They've become human this year as opposed to abnormal, and it's given Arsenal that opportunity. But Arsenal have still had to have been sensational, absolutely sensational in that time period. And with City, it's today, although they won today, and I say it's title winning form, there's been too many performances this season like today where they've kind of huffed and puffed and really struggled. So I just think Arsenal are going to have enough to get over the line. But if Arsenal do wobble and if Arsenal do collapse, this City team won't let them off the hook. I don't think we'll have a moment where Arsenal can lose in the last 12 games, 4 of those games, but City equal that level of points being dropped. I don't think that will happen. Arsenal have got to maintain a very high 70 to 80% win ratio in these last few games without a shadow of a doubt. Maybe even higher than that. Maybe it's got to be like mid to high 80s to be fair. Lucky Singh here says, Terry talking a bit of nonsense. I'd love to know what you're referring to. just so we can have a conversation about it. I don't mean that rudely. Just let me know what, and we'll have a conversation. That's why the terrace exists, so we can all sit here and talk about football. This says City should have dropped points, but a stupid penalty to concede saved them.
Okay.
I mean, I think it was a stupid penalty from Palace's point of view. It was a bad penalty to give away, but it was a penalty, I think. But these things happen. This here says, not a City fan. Grealish has been City's best player post World Cup. Put a great chance on the plate for Haaland, who missed. Plus, Pep is ruthless. He won't protect. Do you think he's been City's best player since the World Cup? Or do you get
his City's most consistent player was 6.5 or 7. I've seen players give 8 and then get 6. So if you want to say he's the most consistent player, I give you that. Grealish has not played to a 9.5 and has not played to a 4. But Grealish has not put a performance when he won you a game by himself. But Mahrez did. But Haaland did. Isn't that right? Bernardo Silva did. So Jack Grealish is your most consistent player, if you want to put it the right way, not your best player. It's a massive difference, by the way. You can be a goalkeeper and he can be the most consistent guy. You can be a center back and he can be the most consistent person, but that doesn't mean you're the best player on the pitch. Yeah. I thought that a lot of players won you games by themselves, single-handedly won you games by themselves. You remember Mahrez against Spurs, the comeback. It was Mahrez by himself in that game.
Yeah, I thought that Mahrez, up until about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, had been their best player. I think defensively, the likes of Ake and Kanji have been better than Jack Grealish. I think Rodri is consistently better than Jack Grealish. KDB, it's been a little interesting, but I've still seen him drop some great games. And Foden in the last 2 or 3 games has just delivered everything that Grealish does and more. But that's obviously responding to that comment there. We're going to bring young Daniel on to have a little chat with us now as well. I'm also going to bring KJ, and I think KJ is going to talk just because I want to make the screen symmetrical. Because I really care about stuff like that, because I'm a little bit weird. Yeah. Ake and Akanji have been great. Yeah, absolutely. Terry, keep praising us. I always praise teams that deserve praise, my friend. I always. 7-0. Yeah, that's right. 7. Yes, 7 points. Man United are in front of Arsenal. Absolutely. That's we are. Sareem here says, nice to see Mo back. It is. And I like your setup, by the way, Mo. It's looking nice. It's better than a green screen. I like real sets. Not like, I think green screens are cool, but I like real sets.
Took time. That was good. Took time.
Yeah, I bet it did. Yeah, it does. Green screens are a lot easier. Once it's made for you or you make it, then it's just done. It's easy. The room can be messy and everything. You ain't got to do anything, but there we go. Young Dan's joining us now, Spurs fan on the show. I bring KJ on just to keep things nice and sort of symmetric. Actually, it looks fine like that. That's fine. How you doing, young man? How you doing, young man?
Yeah, I feel like crap having this terrible background now.
Is that washing behind you? Is your mum put the washing out?
No, it's my nan's house. I'm staying over at my nan's because my parents went out for holiday this week, but I'm going back home later.
Your mum and dad just time away together by themselves?
Yeah. Nice. I have a nice background in my room, but this one is terrible. This one is absolutely horrendous.
I get it. Is grandma going to come in a minute and put a face on camera and be like, what are you doing? What are you up to?
She's leaving in.
I hear it. What did you make of City's performance tonight? Some people kind of rattled by it. Soft penalty. Did they deserve it? What are you saying, brother?
Look, at this stage in the season, we all know this as these type of teams. This stage in the season, it doesn't matter how you play. It just matters that you get the 3 points. And they've gone out there and they've gotten the 3 points. I think this is a champions display. Obviously, me being a Tottenham fan, I want City to win the league. So I was rooting for them today, and they ended up getting the result that they needed. 3 points. I think the 2 points off of Arsenal now, if I'm not wrong. And it's a massive result for the title race. I think that City can go on to win this league. I back City. I think not only because of my background against Arsenal and all that, but I just think Arsenal with the young players, at one point, they will crumble. And that's just because of the inexperience and all that. And I think City have the experience to go for the title, but I haven't been impressed from them this season. I really haven't. I think it has to do with, I know you guys, I've been hearing you guys talk, and I think you guys have been bigging up Haaland or something like that. I haven't, but I think Haaland has actually disrupted the way that they play football, in the fact that they had a false 9 before that can interchange with the play. Now Haaland is indisputably a brilliant finisher, And at the end of the day, being a striker, your main job is to finish. But what City had before was a striker that could actually interchange play, and now they should have a finisher and a world-class finisher in that, I will say. But in terms of build-up play, he's not the best of strikers that City used to have, like the Agueros of the worlds. And I think they used to play Foden at false nine, and that false nine, they don't have it anymore, and that's why they had to change system. They're still trying to develop and get used to playing this type of system, and that's why I think they look a little off this season. But I think going into next season, having a full season playing with the system, I think there will be a complete different monster next season, being used to playing without the false nine.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think they can go to another level. One thing I won't do with this City team is write them off. Win or lose the league title, they'll be back again. There's a lot of talk of it's going to be United and Arsenal, and I think United will be challenging next year. I think Arsenal will still be challenging next year. But City are going nowhere. I think that's a misconception from people that they're going to fall away. Maybe when Pep leaves, an air of inconsistency may creep in terms of not challenging every single season for the league title. But in fairness, even with it's been 7 years, there's only been, I think 2 of the 7 he hasn't challenged. The first season he didn't challenge, and then the year Liverpool won it, nobody challenged them. Everybody was miles away. So he's had 2 of 7, but that may become maybe they'll only challenge 3 and 6 when Pep's not there, potentially, with the way the Premier League works. But we'll see. But yeah, I can't see them dropping off and walking away. Obviously, a lot of City fans tuning in. There's obviously some Arsenal fans here. How do you guys see Arsenal Fulham going tomorrow?
I'll see Arsenal getting all 3 points. And I think it will be a tough game, but I see Arsenal winning that game.
It's gonna be tough. Listen, if Arsenal gonna win tomorrow, they'll have to be at their best. It's not gonna be an easy game. I've been a big fan of Fulham this year. Absolutely sensational football sometimes. Very effective, even on a counter attack or even trying to press teams high. I think they are a very, very good team. One of the best teams from Championship to the Premier League I've seen in the last years. It's not going to be easy, but if Arsenal win tomorrow, it will give them a lot of, I don't know how to say, but it's going to give them momentum going forward. I think this is one of the hurdles that they had to overcome against Fulham away. It's not easy for a lot of people who have seen what Chelsea did there, what Liverpool did there. I think it's not going to be an easy game, and it's not going to look like the Crystal Palace today game. Fulham are not going to defend for the whole 90 minutes. They don't do that. And we'll see Arsenal, because Fulham are kind of similar to Brighton. They play different brand of football. They're going to try and attack Arsenal from the beginning. They're going to try to press. For me, I still will put my money on Arsenal to win the game. However, I don't think it's going to be easy, and I wouldn't rule out a draw tomorrow at Fulham. And it wouldn't be the worst result in the world, to be honest. It wouldn't.
Yeah. It's look, I predicted an Arsenal win. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I'm not going to change my mind on that. But I think it'll be very similar today in terms of the closeness of the game. I don't see Arsenal with no Trossard, no Nketiah, no Jesus. I don't see them going there and blowing Fulham away. But I think they'll get the job done, and it'll be narrow. That narrow win will lead Gary Neville to say this is why they can't win the league, even though he sat there and commentated on a game that's been identical for City today. But I think they'll get it done. And then, look, once they start getting the Trossards and Jesus's back, that's when it's going to be really, really interesting. But I think they'll have enough to get it done tomorrow. But listen, Arsenal slipping up will make the title race even more exciting. So as a Man United fan talking about it, I don't care if they win, lose, or draw tomorrow. But I do think it'll be a win. This here says 2-0 to Arsenal is what BDA has got to say here. Blue Moon FC says, if you can't beat Fulham after your rivals have won. I mean, you guys couldn't beat Forest. So these things happen. I think you're trying to say, Blue Moon, they don't beat Fulham after City have won. That's it. They won't win the title. But Arsenal dropped points, and you went and dropped points to Nottingham. No, Arsenal beat one, didn't they, against Villa, and then you dropped points to Nottingham Forest. I don't think Arsenal dropping points tomorrow defines them. I don't think we can make a sweeping statement like that. I don't know what you boys think.
No, definitely.
100%.
Look, the title race, especially like how it is right now, it's made of very many twists and turns. That's why it's so hard to predict who's gonna win. It's more of like when you're predicting, it's more of luck predicting who's gonna win, because anything can happen. That's the thing about football, and especially in the Premier League, anything can happen. You could lose to any team, and then everybody will start saying, "Oh yeah, Man City's going to win the league." Then Man City loses, Arsenal wins, and they're back in the top of the league, and everybody was saying Arsenal are going to win the league. So anything can happen in this title race, but it's very unpredictable. But I think not one result's going to be able to judge this, and until the very last few match weeks of the season, it will be very unpredictable.
Arsenal have Crystal Palace before the international break, while Man City don't play because they play Burnley in the FA Cup. So I think
so
it's
go on,
a very important point, by the way, because imagine going to the international break, 2 weeks off, you come back, you play Liverpool, and even if Arsenal draw this game and win against Palace, they're going to be 6 points ahead. So that's pressure on Man City coming to play Liverpool. People forget that Man City have more games than Arsenal to play because they're still in the cup as well. And also tougher games are coming for Man City. They play Leipzig, and then who knows who they're going to get. Can they get a Bayern Munich? Can they get a Real Madrid? Can they get a Napoli in the Champions League? That's a tougher game than playing in the Europa League. They want to win the Champions League. We have to remember this.
And they're at home to Palace as well. And Palace are awful. They haven't won a game in 2023. And at home, they make it difficult for teams, especially the bigger teams. But they'll get sliced apart, in my opinion, at the Emirates. So they beat Fulham and beat Palace. There could be an 8-point gap by the time they kick off against Liverpool. That's pressure. So it's huge tomorrow for Arsenal. City fans have got to be Fulham supporters tomorrow. They've got to be begging and praying to God, Allah, Buddha, Yoda, Joe Pesci, whoever your God is. You've got to be on your knees praying tomorrow that the Arsenal drop points, because you come back after the international break, and that's the thing. The international break, it's that psychology. It's 2 weeks until you even get to respond to that. It's why Man United have only got one more Prem game before then. It's why Liverpool dropping points today was so key, because Liverpool also don't play a game next week. So Liverpool have got to wait 2-3 weeks now to rectify this defeat in the Premier League. We beat Southampton. We know we're 10 points clear of 5th, whatever happens. So you can just kind of relax in your games then. And it gives you, you can enjoy the international break. You can enjoy being in the FA Cup. And that's why it's key from a City point of view for Arsenal to drop these points, because otherwise it is a horrible 3 weeks. It's a horrible 3 weeks for them of thinking, God damn, we could be 8 points behind and then more. George here, who's a gooner, says next 2 games before the break are crucial. If we win them, we have a good chance of winning the league. If not, I think City will just edge it, as they will beat us at the Emirates. Would you say that's fair?
Why? Why this energy from the Gunners? Like, you're going to be because they beat you at the Emirates. I think you still can go and have a good game at the Etihad. I don't get this thing, the story that everybody's writing that Man City will win 100% against Arsenal. I don't know about you guys thinking. I still think that Arsenal, with the football they're playing, they can go and still win or get a point at the Etihad. It's not a given that Man City will blow them away at the Etihad. I'm not seeing it. Brentford went there and won. They're a team that can go there and get points. I don't get this. Arsenal played them at the Cup with the second team, and they were closer to the win. I think by that time you play, you're going to have Gabriel Jesus back. You're going to have everybody fit. So I'm not getting this story. Even if you don't get the 6 points against Fulham, against Crystal Palace, you actually have to take it that as a positive, that you still have a game against your biggest competitor in the league, not the other way around.
Yeah, if I'm an Arsenal fan right now, I wouldn't even be thinking about the City game right now. I think you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 league games before it. It's looking at them. City, as you say, as I've already said with City, I'm just looking at their fixtures here because I want to make sure I get this right. You get the chance to go 8 points clear if you win your next 2 games. Then they're at home to Liverpool, which is going to be a tough game, away to Southampton, and then it's like that Liverpool game's key, because they then drop any points to Liverpool, and Liverpool invariably do something to this City team. They just get under their skin in one way. They drop points there, and you win that same weekend. And I think it's Leeds Arsenal play that weekend. You could theoretically go anywhere between 9 to 11 points clear. Then you're in a situation where, yes, there's still going to be 4 or 5 games before you play them at the Etihad, but you're in a situation whereby the pressure is all on City to deliver. You could go into that again. You go into the game at the Etihad 5 points clear even. I'm not saying you can lose, but I think if they go into it 5 or more points clear, Arsenal win at the Etihad. If
Yeah.
it's 2 points or less, then I think City win it because the pressure is going to be different in those circumstances. That's why for Arsenal, it's focusing. And City, like I said, pray to your God tonight. Pray to whoever it is, whether even if you don't believe in God, if you're an atheist, still pray. Just on the off chance. Just on the off chance.
Not only City
it's true.
fans, also us. We're praying as well.
When are you
Fulham
playing?
have to. We're praying that Arsenal drop points.
Oh, yeah, because
If
you don't want them to win
if
the league.
Arsenal win the league, I don't even live in England, but I hear all the fans that are saying if Arsenal win the league, I'm moving out of England, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm seeing Arsenal fans come out of nowhere. Like, man, I've known you for 5 years. I didn't even know you're an Arsenal fan. Now you're jumping around and celebrating, man. Like, if they win the league, it's gonna be a joke.
Wow. Interesting news has just come out, actually, that Gabriel Jesus and Trossard are in contention to play against Fulham tomorrow. That's from Charles Watts. Now, honestly, I got my Arsenal news today from a very credible source called Jessica Black, and she said that they're all out. So that must be brand new news. And if that's true, I'm gonna have a nice it's gonna be a nice evening now. It means that it's gonna be a nice, relaxed environment at home when we're watching box sets of Walking Dead. If that news is, and I'm sure that Guna wouldn't have made that up on there, but there we go. Bison Beast has joined us now. He wants to have his say. What are you saying, Bison?
Hi, Terry. So just on the point on Grealish, I just think he's not helped because he has a centre back as a fallback. There's no overlapping done. I think so. Ake is playing well, but he's not held by any stretch of the imagination. I think so. Walker is a bit more forward thinking, so that helps him.
Okay, so
Secondly,
because there's not a marauding fullback, that's why Jack Grealish isn't scoring goals.
no, I won't say he's not scoring. I'm not saying he's been great, but I'm saying he's when you compare Mahrez and Foden, I think so he's not since he's playing on the left hand side. I don't think so he's completely helped him. Secondly, I don't think it's his best position. I think so. Once Gundogan leaves the season, I think so we'll see Grealish dropping in prime midfield as a number 10. I think so there we'll see that he might be playing a bit better. I don't think so he's a winger per se, and that's one of the reasons I don't think. I think so we should give Grealish time. I'm not a City fan, so I don't care about them. Uh, I'm I'm more inclined towards United, and I hate
Are
the fact
you?
that I hate the fact that City might do the three-peat, but I think we are being harsh on Grealish. Secondly, I think Fulham will win tomorrow, and that is I predict that City will win the league by 5 points or more.
There we go.
Because
Bison, listen,
so
it's good to hear your opinion, my friend, and I get where you're coming from, and you're defending him, and you're not defending him because you're a City fan. You're defending him because you think that's the right way to do it. Oh, he's gone. I didn't know what I was saying, but yeah, listen. Thank you very much for your opinion on there, Dan and Mo. I want to thank you for coming on as well today, viewers. You know how much we love you here at the Terrace. We're back tomorrow with more content, match reactions to Arsenal and Man United at the same time. After that, I don't know what it'll be, but we'll be putting out some kind of content for you. We'll see what the world throws up tomorrow. Which footballer has flashed themselves? Which person has done this? Which person has done that? We'll be talking about all of it. Mo and Dan, absolute pleasure to speak to you. Viewers, hit the like button before you leave, and make sure you are subscribing and got the bell notifications turned on so you don't miss out when we go live, because the algorithm is not your friend. It never has been, and it never will be. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.